This time, let's talk about solving systems of quadratic and linear equations using a graphing calculator. Here you can see we have our system of a quadratic and a linear equation, and what we're going to do is solve it using a calculator, and we'll start with these steps. First, we're going to put it in standard form. Well, the first one is in standard form. Our quadratic is, we need to put our linear equation in standard form. So we're going to simply subtract x from both sides so that we can get the y all by itself, and that will leave us with y, those x's cancel out, negative x plus 5, or 5 minus x if you prefer. Now both of these are in standard form, and we can punch them into our calculator using y equals. So here we have our calculator, and I know it looks a little dark, but I've adjusted the contrast so we can see it a little bit better. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to press y equals. So we'll press y equals here, and that is going to allow us to enter in our equation. In order to save us some time, I've already entered mine in. You'll notice that I have my negative x right here squared plus 4x plus 1 and negative x plus 5. The next thing I'm going to do once I've got my equations entered is I'm going to graph it. Now I prefer to graph using zoom instead of the graph button, so I'm going to press zoom, and then I'm going to press 0. So if you want to, you can come down all the way and see it. I'm going to choose zoom fit or 0. So there you go, zoom fit, and you'll see it graph. Now mine is a TI-84C silver edition, which means it is slow as Moses. So hang in there. You can see your line crossing there at 2 points, and we're going to graph it. So at this point, I want to calculate the intersections that I see here, right? I see an intersection here and here, but I want to see what those are in terms of numbers. So I'm going to press second here. So I'll press the second button, and then I'm going to press the Calc button, the one that's right above trace, right? So you'll see that there's a blue Calc up there, and we'll press that. Press the trace button, second and trace. And then we'll come down to intersect. We'll press 5 there. And then what we have to do is really important is that you have to choose both curves. And you have to do this twice in order to solve the whole thing, to make sure that you get both coordinate values. So we're going to first press X on the first curve, the blue curve, and then it's going to highlight in red. And you'll see now that we are moving back and forth on our red curve, and we're going to go past the intersection point. So my intersection point is right around here somewhere. I'm going to come past that on the red curve. I don't know if you have to do that. That's what I always do. And then you're going to press enter, and it's going to ask you to guess. And you'll see that your intersection is at 1 and 4. Now that is one of your two intersections. You've got one intersection here. We need to deal with this one over here. So our first will be 1 and 4. So 1 and 4 is our first solution. And now we need to find our second solution, our second intersection point, and we're going to go ahead and press second and trace or calc again. We'll choose 5 for the intersect. This time we're going to move along our arc of our parabola, and we're going to move over to near that, just before that next intersection, and press enter. It's going to highlight the second curve, the line. Even though it says it's a curve, it's actually a line. We just call all things that are graphed curves. And there you go. You get 4, 1. So our second solution is 4, 1. And there you have it. There's the solution just using a graphing calculator. I recommend this if you are in a pinch and you need to get things done quickly. But remember, on our homework assignment, we have substitution and elimination and graphing. So make sure that you practice on your substitution and elimination too. That's it.